From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Dominating with Dawson.
I think it's time for Dominating with Dawson. Welcome back.
I am here. Let's dominate.
You are. So at one time we had somebody write in and they were curious because they were getting ready for, I believe it was for a Lucky Dog race. And they wanted to know, because they were worried about safety. There was like, why is there no steering wheel lock on a race car? And why no airbag?
The steering wheel lock is something that's just like an anti-theft device, right? Is that what it's for?
I think so. I think it keeps the steering wheel from turning.
It locks out your steering until somebody's put the key in. Until the authorized person gets in to try to start the car, the steering wheel won't move. So we don't need that for racing because we assume that we're just going to start the car with no key and the right person is already with the race car. So that's sort of the assumption. Race cars don't need an anti-theft device. The concept is for street cars, not for race cars. So you want to disable that, but also you don't want your steering locked either on purpose or inadvertently at any point while you're racing. So you just want to disable that mechanism completely because you don't need an anti-theft device, and you certainly don't need your steering to be locked up at any point. All course,
it can't help you.
Right. So that's why it's a street car thing that we totally don't need for racing. It could be very dangerous if it somehow got encaged while you're trying to turn into turn one at Road Atlanta or something like that. If the steering wheel got locked, you'd be in big trouble. So that's what it is, and that's why we don't use it. So it's usually something that as you're disassembling the vehicle to make it into a race car, it's a good time to take care of.
Right.
Take care of it on your own. Thinking a lot of times it's like knocking something off or beating the crap out of something until it's off the steering column. But it's usually pretty easy. If you can't figure out how to get rid of it, look online. Yeah, you'll find it. Like just search. Remove steering lock for my 93 Yaris or whatever it is. I don't know. Did they make a Yaris in 93? I just said that, but
I'm sure they did somewhere.
So look up your own model, make, kind of year, or if it's an E46, so look up your generation or whatever. Somebody on YouTube has done it before, and we'll show you exactly how to do it. So that's how I find everything I need to do on a race car. I go look how to do it. Like when I stripped out my E46 to start building it back up to be a spec E46, I just found this kid on YouTube who was just taking apart E46s and putting them back together. So he had all the methodology down. Like, hey, you need to get the door panel off. Here's how to do it. Pop, 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 pop. And he's not even a racing guy. This guy's just kind of mods out E46s for fun. But his page is great, and he shows you how to do every single thing you need to do. And that's been true for me since I even got that many out and started tracking it. Like as soon as YouTube came out, I started learning how to do car from it. But that's what the steering lock is, and that's why you want to get rid of it. What's the other question?
Why no airbag?
No airbag. So an airbag is designed to interact with your body when you're restrained by the stock seatbelt system. So the seatbelt that you put on, it kind of clicks, and if you're going to turn, it kind of locks you in. That ratcheting seatbelt system is designed to interact with your airbag. As opposed to when you're strapped into a race car, you're strapped into a static position. So if the airbag were still there and deployed when you're in a race car, it would damage you. The idea, the way airbags work is it's expecting your body to be coming forward and pushing you back. My understanding is if an airbag deployed when you're already fully strapped in hard to a race car, it would just pretty much be like a huge ass punch in the face. Have you ever heard that before, Bill?
I have. We actually, Vicky got injured by an airbag.
Yeah, I've got a couple of friends who have had airbag injuries.
Yeah, airbags are no joke.
Yeah, they do what they're supposed to do. The one thing I've had airbags deploy on me. I remodeled my Focus ST with a deer, probably going about 40, 50 miles an hour, and I was like, "What is that smell?" But I didn't touch a thing. My body didn't touch a thing. Like I stopped and totaled my car, but my body didn't touch a single thing inside the car that I could tell. I was like, "Man, it smells crazy in here," but I feel fine. And they all deployed.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of them now.
Yeah, thank goodness. I'm glad, but yeah, you don't want them in a race car because you're not in the vehicle, in the stock seating position, in the stock seat, in the stock restraints that the factory provided, which are designed to work in concert with other restraint mechanisms like an airbag that's designed to help you in a collision. So that stuff has to go because it's just not engineered to work with you in a racing bucket seat with harnesses.
Right. So Jen, does any of our safety stuff or non-safety stuff not make sense to you, or are you good with what we have?
No, I'm good with our safety stuff, and actually I've been extremely impressed with our safety stuff.
Yeah,
I've had some opportunities to try it out.
She's tested
that's right. Ultimately, what we're doing on track is statistically a lot safer than what you're doing just driving up and down the road with a bunch of distracted drivers. So, the added safety gear is certainly a plus, and it's very effective. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of people out dying at HPDEs or anything like that. They've got it down to a pretty good science, and the stuff we have works, and it's constantly evolving. I mean, when I started doing this, they didn't have that device you can put in your helmet that helps inflate the helmet away from your head so they can pull it off without furthering your spine. Like there's been some great strides even since I started doing this. Like when I first started doing kart racing, we all were doing it with those little foam donuts, and even track event drivers are mostly doing track events with those foam donuts. And wow, I just saw a rabbit run across the road and not get hit by a car. Good job, Brer Rabbit. All right. Yeah, so there's a lot. The safety stuff is always evolving. When I first started doing track events, it was a couple of years before I started using a Hans device. Now I think don't all series at this point require head and neck restraints. So
as far as I know, if you've got a 4-point or higher, any of the race they required. If they haven't required it with the 3-point belts, but most of the racing doesn't allow 3-point belts. So.
Yeah, so I say that all to say that the safety requirements and equipment and the thing that we do, they're always evolving, and our sport I think it gets more and more safe. But I think it's still I feel confident walking out of my house and going to do a track day, feeling like it's a pretty safe event, more so than just driving to work.
Yeah, well, you got people paying attention. So
yeah, people are hyper focused. Hopefully, I mean, the outliers get banished pretty quickly. Unlike life on the road, the outliers on the road get to go mess around a lot longer than if you pull some junk in a track day that's really out of bounds. You're going to get yanked off the track pretty quickly. So I think that's all a good sign for talking about how relatively safe what we do is.
Yep. Very cool. All right.
Super cool,
that makes
guys.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for having me.